Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the. Who spoke? Who spoke? Why?
Start again.
All right, try again. Although we're live anyway. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the TruuuTalk podcast. This is season 2. Milan, what episode is it?
11.
So why are you saying a 2 for?
It's 11.
I don't know what sign language. That's 11. I really don't know in what language.
11.
In what, I don't know what world that's ever 11. I've never seen 11 as that.
1 and a 1.
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Well, this is season 2 episode. Milan, what episode is it?
11.
Jesus
11.
Christ.
11.
All right, let's move on. Let's keep it moving. Right. As always, we've got the TruuuTalk gang. And as you may know, we was joined by the TruuuTalk First Lady, Miss Chitty Bang Bang.
Namaste, my people. Love to you all and all that.
A man who needs no introduction, Mr. TruuuTalk himself, Mr. Ashley.
Oh, sure.
Show. We got our very own banter bringer, Miss Milan, Miss Millie Rock.
Hi.
We have our favourite girl from the small islands, Miss Cher.
What's going on? Come on, Cher.
Cher, you about
Every week you make me do the boga.
Cher, he's about to get kicked in your jaw corner, I tell you. We are joined by a special guest, the abundant one, Miss Chancey. How you doing?
I'm good. The abundance is arrived.
There we go.
Right.
He said it with chest as well, mate. He's like, the abundance has arrived. I'm drinking my water and what? And of course, myself, DJ Sticky Fingers.
The one and only.
Apparently, sometimes, I'm not sure, I'm not convinced. So, this week, as all weeks, we've got our 2 topics now. We're actually doing something slightly different. We're going to continue on from last week's topic, right? And last week's topic was, is it hard to find a decent black man? But we changed it slightly for this week. Our serious topic for this week is, do black African men treat black women better than black Caribbean men? I'll say it to you again, very specifically. Do black African men treat black women better than black Caribbean men? Everyone's quiet there. Everyone's like, oh, I don't know about that one. We're also going to do our Ask Millie, where Chitty gives Millie a scenario, and we're not Millie, we're doing that scenario. It can get a bit peak. I'm not sure people still say peak these days, but it can get a bit peak. And we'll cross that bridge and get to it a little bit later. Our fun topic for this week, though, is women drivers. Yeah, we'll leave it there. And we're also going to introduce a little segment at the end by Miss Cher. But before we do, we want to know, do black African men treat black women better than black Caribbean men? Ash, I'm coming to you first. What do you think?
Mad thing. This question is very triggering, isn't it? It's trying to trigger people. But in this short, quick answer, I would say yes. And the reason why I would say yes is because I feel like it's in African culture to court a lady, to do the kind of gentlemanly things, like they're taught it as part of the culture. It's normal. Like, even if they don't have no intention to even if they're gonna do the girl day, you get me? They will still be like, they'll still date her, they'll still take her out, they'll still maybe buy her gifts and like do the nice thing. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like in our culture, when I say in our culture, in Caribbean culture, it's almost frowned upon to be nice, to be the gentleman, to be sweet, to be all of them things. So I feel like yes, and that's mainly the reason why, because it's taught differently. You get me? I think African culture, they teach like to be good to women is a good thing, and to be gentleman is a good thing. And I feel like in I say Caribbean culture, but it's not Caribbean culture as a whole. It's more like a new culture. It's more like the like stems down from a generation where obviously parents were in conflict so much. You get me? And me growing up, I used to see a lot of women treat the good man badly. Do you get me? Like, the nice guy is not getting treated the same way as the guy who is like a bit more rugged and a bit more. Do you get what I'm saying? So it kind of taught me subconsciously that being nice doesn't get man nowhere. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you can get the same thing without having to be nice, then I might as well do it this way. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm not having to spend my money. I'm not having to invest too much emotions and all those different kind of things. So I just feel like we've been taught the opposite ways, isn't it? So yes, I feel like African men probably do treat black women better.
Oh, that's nice and simple. Ash agrees. And as I said, I try to be very specific to say black African men versus black Caribbean men or Caribbean men versus black women. Before we go to Chids, read some of the messages. Kaiser Sosa says, blessings, brothers and sisters. Kaiser Sosa says, I trust women drivers way more than men. You must be smoking some good green stuff, I tell you. Peely says, evening all. Naturally says, Caribbean men like to control. Okay. Naturally. Peely says, I feel like it's down to the individual. There are good and bad in both cultures. Chids, what do you think? Do black African men treat black women better than Caribbean men or black Caribbean men?
So I love what Peely just said, saying it's down to the individual. Because ultimately it is. Everything's a choice, really, isn't it? But at the same time, I feel like, going back to what Ashley just said about it being taught as part of the culture when it comes to Africans, like African men, my experience with African men has been not more nicer than with Caribbean men. Like, it's been more intimate. They are very loving. They will cater to you, look after you, do you get me, and just treat you nicely, whether they're going to pursue you or not. But they will just do the utmost. Do you know what I mean? Like I dated an African guy for 5.5 years, and like from beginning to end, he always, like, every week sent me flowers, and it was just always like really, like, seriously, even like from the beginning to the end of our relationship, always sent me flowers, and always just like, he was just so nice. And like dating Caribbean men, I was just long lucky if you get a text back, but it's it's mad, isn't it? But like, I just think romantically they do go all out, and they're not afraid to, you know, express themselves or show their emotions, whether they're lying or not. They will still do it. I think we kind of live what we learn in it. So I think it definitely stems from being part of the Caribbean culture. It does stem from the background and the upbringing, but then back to what Peely was saying about it's down to the individual. Like, my uncle is a black Caribbean man, and he treats his wife with the utmost love and respect, and he's very, like, you know, attentive towards her, because he saw how my grandfather treated my grandmother, and he didn't want that for his relationship. So he decided to change the narrative. So I definitely think it's to do with the individual. But I do think, you know, overall, African men do tend to treat black women, you know, just a little bit better than black Caribbean men. Sorry, guys.
That's fair enough. Ash, I think we're going to get it today, but I've got that feeling that we're going to just get a roast in today. Before I go over to our guest, our special guest.
It's necessary, man. It's necessary, yeah.
I'll take your word on that one. Empress says, yes, Peely. She's agreeing with Peely. Breen is laughing, I believe, loving it. Chids. Peely says, that's sweet. Empress is saying Chids. And Nat truly says true. So we said we've got our special guest, the abundant one. Mr. Abundant One, Chancey, what do you think? Do you think do you agree with what Chids and Ashley are saying, that black African men treat black women better than black Caribbean men?
To many extents, yes. But I think a lot of things have been changing. And when I look at certain African parents and I see any Caribbean parents, there's always the ones that do treat women bad. And there's a lot of them. So it's like, I do see them on both sides. But I can understand when you're saying that it's in the African culture to treat a woman better, but that only applies to those that have been nurtured by it or choose to kind of, choose a better way to live, or just naturally have that kind of heart. But there is a lot of African men that do not treat the woman. You know what I'm saying? Me coming from an African background and, being able to visit many different families, I've been able to see that. But I can definitely understand what they're saying with the whole culture thing. It's just naturally there. But then I feel like with the Caribbeans, it's more like a learned behavior. Like, to me, that's just Western. You know what I'm saying? That's it's like the African being brought over there and then being taught something else, and now they're just doing the same thing that we do back home, but just a bit more perpetuated. That's it. That's what I see.
So I'm going to ask you a question on that then. So you said that you visit a lot more homes. You visit a lot of homes, right? See different sort of families. On that, then going back to what Chids and Ash was saying, do you find that when you visit a lot of homes, you find that if you look at the Caribbean home versus the Black African home, and again, I'm very specifically Black Africans, I'm talking about Ghana, Nigeria, Congo, Kenya, so very specific Black African countries. Do you tend to find that you see more parents together, for want of better words, in the Black African home versus the Black Caribbean home?
Yeah, that's true. But most of the time it's because the African woman just don't know how to do anything different. She's just, all she knows is do for my husband. You know what I'm saying? And even if the husband's toxic, she's still gonna stay. She's gonna try and, her belief is like, I'm here to fix whatever comes in my way, literally. And that can be destroying.
Now you said that, I'm thinking, Ash, tomorrow, we said this weekend, Lagos, say we come, yeah? Find myself a Nigerian wife like Eddie Murphy was saying, boy, I tell you, Miss Mfufu, I tell you. Share. What do you think? What's your views on this one?
I think in terms of African men, like, I do find them more serious about relationships, getting married, settling down, that kind of thing. But I think it just depends on the person's soul, like if they're truly connected with themselves, if they know themselves, if they know what they want. Yeah, it's a tricky one, really, because I've been in a relationship with an African man, I've been in a relationship with a Caribbean man, and it was two completely different situations. But I would say with the African man, I don't know, I just found it was more serious, like in terms of, like they would not let you go kind of thing. They didn't want to let you go. But I do feel like with Caribbean men, well, in my experience anyway, I'll say Caribbean man, like they cater to you more, but that's just my personal experience. But then it's totally different if they're, from the Caribbean than if they're British Caribbean as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, I find, when I've been to the Caribbean men, they treat their women like queens. You know what I mean? So maybe it's just a thing where things have been really westernized. But yeah.
But do they treat the women like queens? Have you guys ever been to the Caribbean and heard the way that the certain men carry on when you go there?
Yeah.
Look at Chili's face. Chili's like, yeah.
Small island.
Jamaica for me.
No, don't talk about Jamaica. That's for next week. Before I come up to Miss Milan, right? Hold on. Peely says, yes, agreed with the abundant one. Peely says they'll use you like a mop sticky. They can do it if they want to. Mop me up. Yeah, all good. DJ Empress agrees with Peely. I'm not sure why. If you guys don't know, if you're new, Peely, Empress, and Brina, they're all flipping troublemakers, right? I've said it before. I say it again. Miss Milan, Miss Millie Rock.
Leave them alone. My girl gang alone, yeah?
I don't even know where to start. The abundant one, just so you know, again, we've got Peely, you see it in the comments, Peely, Brina, and DJ Empress, right? They're just as bad as Cher, Milan, and Chili. I don't know who's worse. No, you're in it as well. I don't know who's worse. Some of them from small islands, some are from not, but they're all just like...
Why did you have to go there, though?
It had to be done. Had to be done.
Sorry, every week you cuss out our literally, what's the word I'm looking for? Consistent viewers. Why?
Yeah.
This is why we've got questions like this. This is why we're having to debate stuff like this, bro. Because you're a Caribbean man treating these black women terrible, bro. You need to back it up.
Tell him again.
Ash, I can't believe you did me like that. I can't believe you just dug me out like that, Ash. I didn't have to say anything. You could have kept it quiet.
He knew what he was doing.
He knew full well. He's like, I'm coming for you. Miss Milan, Miss Billy, what's your views on this? Do black African men treat black women better than black Caribbean men?
Yeah. Relationship-wise, I think, yeah. When these were talking, I was trying to think, have I ever been out with an African guy? But I think I did like once in school, like literally like way back when. And do you know what was mad? Obviously, it was a school relationship and whatever. And I think we was together from like year 10 to year 11 or year 9 to year 11. But I was the one that was like, okay, cool. We're going into college now. Like, we're going separate colleges. Maybe we should just leave it there. Like, you're going to go somewhere and find someone. And it wasn't necessarily that I wanted to do other stuff. It was just like, I know you're a guy. You're going to go to college and literally find somebody and I'm not going to know about it. And I can't be bothered to deal with all of that. So we should part. And he was heartbroken. He was like, oh, what do you mean we need to? He was like, no, we don't. And I'm like, huh? What? And he was half African. And then I just think Caribbean guys are just... forward, much, enough, confident. Do you know what I mean? They've just got, it's just confidence. That's what they've got. They are just very confident in themselves, confident in, I don't know, believing that they will get you. They will. They're very confident in that. And I don't know, sometimes it can, not like overpowering, that's not really the word I want to use, but sometimes, like I just said, you're a bit much. Do you know what I mean? Where I don't think like African guys are kind of like that. But then as well, when you look at like in a household, do you know what I mean? A lot of my friends who are African, their parents are still together. Obviously, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Like the abundant one said, you know, the woman is just, I'm in it now. I can't leave. This is it. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, their parents are still together, where Caribbean friends, when I look at even my own, my parents aren't together. A lot of my friends' parents aren't together. So, I don't know, maybe it's just a thing. Not that it should be, but do you know what I mean? I'm just saying that's just... Thing is, we shouldn't even settle and say that's just how it is. Do you know what I mean? Because, you know, if you get like married or you're in a relationship for a long time, you should want to be there till the end. Do you know what I mean? You shouldn't have an ulterior like motive to want to go and do something else. And if you don't want to be in a relationship, then grow some bloody balls, man or woman, and leave. Do you know what I mean? Like, why are you trying to stick around if you're just going to do a fuckery? Do you know what I mean? That's all. I'm mad. But in terms of African men treating whatever the question was, it's a yes.
All right, so I'm gonna ask a question to both Milan and Abundant One, because both of you said something that I want to touch upon, right? Before I do, screen these messages. Brina says, leave us alone. Talking about you guys, leave her alone. PD says, don't start sticking. Brina says, tell him Milan, probably talking about Ash, not me. Brina says, and Ash as well, she laughs. PD says, thank you, Ash. I'm not sure why they're thanking Ash, to be honest. Empress says, Sticky, stop it, your noise. Sticky, stop your noise and tucking your tongue. Oh my word. Empress also says, thanks, Ash. See, everyone's thinking Ash now, so I don't know why. Brina says, I don't know from personal experience, but based on the women in my life, yes, African men do treat treat better, but on the flip side, they can be very sexist. Okay, they seem to pride their manhood on how well they can take care of a woman due to the cultural upbringing. There seems to be a shift happening, though, as mentioned earlier by the Abundant One. He also says if they treat their woman good, it's really good. If it's bad, Caribbean men do it openly, African men do it in secret. Okay. I've got a question for Milan, the Abundant One, but before I do, I know she's about to say something, so don't let me cut you. Apologies. You go first.
Me?
Yeah. So I'm trying to be like the good... Because I did.
My God, Sticky. I love you. I actually love you.
As Caribbean man, we got it like that. You get me?
Yeah. All right. So, no, what I was going to, sorry, I just wanted to touch on something quickly. So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine the other day who is a Caribbean man, and he is dating an African woman. And he said that from his experience, that he's found that because African men tend to spoil like their women, like African women and stuff, he just finds that she's like very spoiled and she expects a lot of things, whereas Caribbean women are more forthcoming, like they'll go halves on dates and they'll just do the most, or she's already got it patterned, and like, but he just said he finds it really hard work being like in anything with an African woman as opposed to a Caribbean woman. So I just wanted to just say that.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So what I was going to ask you, Abundant One and Milan, so they both said something. So I think Abundant One said it first and then Milan touched upon it afterwards about the women. So could it be that it's like a false narrative almost here that black African men treat black women better than black Caribbean men? Because could it be in reverse that the black African woman, I suppose, is more almost submissive, if you want for a better word, or not necessarily submissive, maybe not the right word, but less likely to leave a bad relationship, a bad situation. So it's not that the black African man is any better, but you're saying that, you know, they will try harder maybe to keep the relationship together for whatever reason. Could that be part of the reason as to why it seems like that? Or that there's a difference? If that makes sense? Like everyone's looking at me with like a blank look on their face, like, what are you talking about, Steve?
No, I'm thinking who you're going to first.
Let's go to our guest first. The Abundant One, what do you think? Is that a possibility?
Yeah. So just repeat that last bit.
So it was almost like a case of, so we're saying that, I know you said before that the black African woman specifically is almost like, you know, if they're in the situation, they stay in the situation. Yeah. So I'm asking, is it a case of, could it be a false narrative to say that black African men are any better than black Caribbean men? Could it be that it's more to do with the woman, I suppose, in the scenario, that she's more likely to stay around or stay in the situation?
Yeah, that's true. She is more likely to stay around. Well, maybe, you know, a couple of generations back or something. You know, things are changing now. But, yeah, I would definitely agree with that. But I guess you got women in the Caribbean as well. Like, maybe if you look back to the grandmas and, you know, they probably had the same tendencies as well. So I don't know.
Yeah, because as you're saying, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, when you said about that, the women in the relationship, that reminded me of like my grandparents' generation and maybe the generation before them. So I think we were talking about this before, people were saying, oh, you know, be like your grandparents. Well, our grandparents, you know, went through a lot of abuse and stuff like that, but they had no choice. They came over to England, you know, in the 60s Windrush. They didn't know where to go. There was no families to go to. So where you're saying that the black African woman may be a bit more, again, I'm using the word submissive, probably not the best choice of words, so forgive me, but more likely to stay, is it that it's a case of just that the black African family hasn't been in England for as long? Remember, black African culture came over to England later than black Caribbean.
Been there long enough.
Yeah,
I haven't been there long enough because for me, for example, I'm first generation. So, and there's a big difference in me just being. So I could imagine if I had kids and then kids, like, there's going to be a lot of differences. So by the time I've come here, you know, some of the Caribbeans have been there like, I don't know, 10 generations or something. There's a big difference that they already know the ins and outs. They know what's going on in it. You know what I'm saying? Whereas we come and we're learning. When you look at the kids now, they act exactly the same as Caribbean kids. You don't really see the difference. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same. So yeah, I think we just ain't been here long enough in that sense. So certain things the Caribbeans probably picked up on a little bit earlier. We have then come and followed through. But then where the African culture still lives in some households, it may differ there, and it may differ. The situation may not be the same, because any households, even till today, still carry that African culture, if that makes sense.
Definitely. But like, what's your views? I know when I was posing the question, I was posing to you both, I suppose. So.
No, I agree as well, because I was going to say what I was talking before, but I forgot. So I work, and this is obviously not about like relationships like that, but it still goes with what I talk about. So I work in a predominantly like male industry, and obviously I fit stuff on cars. So when I go out to a Caribbean man's car, they love the fact that a woman's doing it, and do you know what I mean? And they've got better chat, and half the time they think they're flirting, and my face is just straight. But an African man, to go and fit something on their car, they don't like it. Not at all. They're like, what are you doing? I've had, like, I can literally, if I had £1 for every time an African man has told me to go back in and get a guy to come and fit whatever on his car. And I'm like, what do you mean? You're not doing it. Like, you're a woman, you're not doing it. What are you talking about? I go on the same training as everybody else, but they don't want me to touch their car, like, not at all. It's mad. So then when you're talking about then women not wanting to leave, I feel like as well, Caribbean like women, and I'm one of them, we have chat for everybody. We got chat for our man, your man's man. Do you know what I mean? We've got chat for everyone, and we ain't gonna stop talking until we've been heard. Do you know what I mean? Where I feel like a Caribbean woman has got chat for like herself, her children. Do you know what I mean? Like, she doesn't really have chat. And again, I'm not talking about all African people before they start jumping on me. Like, but I feel like they don't have chat for the man. Do you know what I mean? And they're very. I'm not saying that Caribbean women aren't respectful of their man, but I feel like African women are very respectful to the fact that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you just don't talk back. You don't do nothing. You just come. You just do you within your relationship, where Caribbean women ain't got time for any of that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, there are some Caribbean people who put up with a lot. Do you know what I mean? So I'm saying on a very loose basis, that's what I feel it's like. And then touching on how, you know, Africans haven't been in the westernization as much as Caribbean people. Like, it hits the nail on the head. Like, if you see kids now, you go tell some school kid, some little African kid, that you're about to go home and tell his mum, literally he will switch up. You go tell some Caribbean boy you're about to tell his mum, he'll be like, I'll call her up. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's got a whole different chat, and you're like, what do you mean? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's different. It's different. And that's from young, like, kids, like school kids with a tie and shit. Do you know what I mean? It's mad.
Yeah, I heard that did make me laugh. I'm going to say, I'm going to read a couple of messages, and we're going to go into the Arts Mini, because again, I think there's so much we can talk about this particular topic, and we've been talking about it for almost half an hour now. So I think there's so much, and it's so involved. There's so many different ways you can look at it. You know, is it to do the how long, you know, Caribbean people have been in Western culture, or the African culture has been over in the Western culture, things like that. The women, the men, the this, the that. Don't forget as well, though. I'm gonna pick on, like, especially Nigerian people right now, right? You know, like, being back in school, you know, Nigerian people would say, "Oh, so where's your dad? You know, your dad's not around." And you go to a Nigerian person, but where's your dad? You know what they used to say all the time? My dad's back home on business. Yeah, you know what business meant? My dad's back home with the other wife. Yeah, so don't even get at me. So we come with messages, and we're getting to the Arts Midi. Rena says, yes, the African women could be more submissive because the African man set the bar of giving them reasons to submit, i.e. providing them, spoiling them, etc. Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Shots fired there, boy. Shots fired there. Rena says, yes, they all follow the same culture now, African and Caribbean youth today. But Brina says, I'm not surprised to hear that, Milan. If it's about the car bit, it's about how Caribbean men and West African men or Black African men are towards you. Brina says there is a cultural difference between Caribbean and African women as well. Okay, fair enough. Peely says Western culture has a big part to play in it. And Brina says, just saying. Fair enough. Chids, you ready for the Ask Milan, Ask Millie?
I am ready for the Ask Millie. So, there's this girl that I spoke to, and she was telling me about a situation that she's in. So she's talking to this guy, really, really nice guy. They speak every day. They converse really well. They're never short of, topics to talk on, or, and everything's really, really nice between them. But the conversation hasn't got say romantic. I don't want to say romantic. That's a bit of a naff word, isn't it? He's not really showing that he's interested like that. He's giving very subtle hints. But she wants to know, should she just draw him out and just say, look, are you into me this way, or is it a thing where we're just talking or whatever? Because she feels it, but she doesn't quite know.
Okay, this one's a nice one. I also do like Woosar, because we've had some very strange topics, but no, this one. Do you know what? Don't be shy. I say this. I mean, I don't take my own advice. Don't be shy. One, has she tried to take the conversation somewhere else? Like, tried to take it?
She's not that type of she's not that type of woman. Then
he might be bloody thinking the same thing, and he doesn't want to be disrespectful to her and start talking about dick sizes and sending dick pics, and then for her to be like, oh my god, you sent me like, girl, it's 2021. We're bloody nearly literally halfway through the year. It's gone so quick. What is the worst that can happen? What, you just stopped talking? Okay, well, that's all you was doing anyway. So, no, what you need to do is pluck up the courage and just say it. I don't even know how to say it. Like, do people even say, like, do you like me, or like, do you want to be my boyfriend? I don't know. Do people do that anymore? That just seems a bit lame. But I mean, maybe, I don't know, word it like, I don't know, like you talking to anyone else. I don't know, bring that up into, do you know what I mean? But in your own way, don't feel pressured to say how I just said it, because that's lame as well, because that's like the worst thing to do. But do you know what I mean? Like, just bring it up in your own way. But I would bring it up in, if you like him and you feel like there's like a connection there, then go for it. Like I said, what's the worst that can happen? Is just going to be like, no, I don't like you. All right, cool, then you two just be friends. Like, it's not that deep. Do you know what I mean? Because it's not like have they like actually been to get like met up? I mean,
yeah, they have, but it's always like it's been in a social environment. There's been other people around and stuff, but they converse so much, and even when they've left the social situations or whatever, being around other people, he will always message her, she will always message him. Do you get me? It's a nice little thing.
Or you just do it the old school way. So you have to go to one of your friends and get your friends to go to them. Like, I see you always talking to my girl. Like, what do you think about my girl? And then you go, then just write down. He said, you know what I mean? If you literally, because I know that I'm saying pluck up the courage, but no, would I? No, do you know what? I would. I don't know the other day. Anyway, pluck up the courage. But if you don't feel like you can, don't be pressured, because you literally don't have to. But get one of the other people in the group who you can trust, that doesn't have a big mouth and is going to be like, ask me to answer, because that's all long. Like, we're not in school, we're not 12. But get a friend to just bring it up and like, keep messaging. I keep seeing little side eyes, and you keep catching each other's eye, like, is that? Do you know what I mean? And then just see
that energy's already been put out there. She even said that other people have tried to not noticed anything, but they've just said, why don't you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, somebody needs to. She can't do it herself. I feel like she should, because we're all adults, and what's the worst that can happen? But if she can't, then get one of the people in the group, guy or girl, just to say to him like, "Oh, I think Thingy's feeling you, you know, like and just see what happens." Who knows?
In my love note, I said, right in my love note, I love you. Sorry, that's.
I mean, don't do that.
Yeah, it's lame as fuck, innit? Lame as fuck, innit? But sorry, I'm pure old school, high school shit. But yeah, no, I just think it's sweet though, innit?
I mean, no, if somebody wrote me a love note, I think I'd be sick.
And
like, literally on it, and then I wouldn't be able to read it.
Little piece of poetry, little love letter.
That is not cute. No, do you know what? My friend, right, she come to mine the other day to pick up a fag, and left her partner inside with her child. So anyway, it doesn't matter. She's come to mine now, was here for about 20 minutes. When she went home, it's so cringy, so cringy. He had made her out of plasticine. Oh my God. This like heart badge thing, and then it had their initials in it.
He's from the Caribbean, isn't he? He's from the Caribbean.
He's being creative.
No, because do you know what the worst thing is? So they gave us
you women don't appreciate nothing.
No, because you know what it was.
We don't fucking heart. We don't need got bloody initials in it. You get me? That shit is nice. Like, you get me?
No. And then he wants her to keep it up on the side. I'm like, no, you're weird. You're totally. No, guys.
That's the grass, man. You have to be grass up on the side like he's a 7-year-old.
Do you know what?
That is so corny.
Chids, I want to do, right, as we got a special guest today, I want to ask the special guest his view on that scenario. So, the abundant one, what advice would you give to this young lady who wants to know if the guy is into her? What do you think what would you tell her to do? Because Milan started off by saying, this is what she should do, but I wouldn't do it. Yeah. If I didn't hear you, I heard you, right? So, abundant one, what would you tell this young lady? So, let's call her Emma, because I don't know what her name is. What would you tell Emma? She's looking at Tyrone. Obviously, Tyrone's in the Caribbean as well.
I'd say just keep it simple and just a couple of dates, see how get along in that.
Yeah, but don't forget they've been on a couple of dates. But she now wants to know if he's into us. What would you tell? Well, that's her name was Emma. What would you tell Emma? So right now, Emma, you need to do this.
Guys are not usually ready for that to answer them kind of questions. They're probably still trying to figure you out. You know what I'm saying? So like, I can't just
no, you gotta be careful what you say though. Be careful. Hang on. We got the bro code, right? You gotta be careful what information you give out as well. Okay, the certain things that can't be said, all right? So just think about from Emma's perspective.
No, go on.
What do you tell Emma? No, actually, no, I'm talking about, right? Actually knows what I'm talking about.
He was giving too much away.
Let me slow it down.
No, don't let these lot hold back what you want to say in it. It's
don't slow it down.
Podcast because you talk the truth.
Alright, cool. Yeah, just get to know the person a bit more. You gotta give a guy a bit more time, innit? Like guys don't like to go forced. That's what I'm saying. And just asking them questions, it feels like you're trying to jump ahead already sometimes. So just take it easy. Because guys take things a bit different. You know what I'm saying? It might mean like you want a relationship now, like, you know what I'm saying? Even though you just want to know whether he likes you or not. So you kind of like got to be able to read someone, innit? Red flags, their energy, the way they're acting with you. All of that. You know what I'm saying? Patterns. If the pattern always, stays the same, well, it doesn't stay the same, but it's consistent.
Shit, then.
I like that. DJ Empress says, what if the friend fancies him too? Brina says, that's so sweet. Going back to Milan's story. PD says, Brina says, I wished. Brina says, men are so long. PD says, what if he hasn't gone any further because he has a woman or something? He might like her, but he's already in something. Oh, and then Brina's saying, "Talk the ting, bro." No, we don't. No. We've got the bro code. Yeah. We just certain things we can't say. So I think we should move on from that. Speaking of the bro code and about women, right? Don't forget as well, we're gonna have our final topic, and we're gonna have a bit at the end from Miss Cher, right? Cher, you ready for that bit? Yeah. Words of wisdom. Yeah. Our weekly affirmation, yeah? But before we do, we want to find out about women drivers. That's the topic, you know. The topic is just women drivers. Ash, I'm going to come to you first. What's your views on women drivers?
All right, look. I would love to fit the narrative, yeah, and just cuss women drivers and shit, yeah. But it's peak because people that actually know me, yeah, they'll be like, bruv, like a woman who knows me will be like, I taught you how to drive, you dickhead. We talk about like, you know, that shit like that, like. So I can't even say that women drivers are whack. What I can say is that a lot of women, a lot of girls, they be driving before the man them. Like, they be getting their licenses up from the gate. You get me? Dad already bought the car before the license was even happened. You get me? So I can't really diss the girls that I know that drive because they've been driving since they was like 17, 16 and a half. Like, do you get what I'm saying? So I can't diss them. I can't really diss them. You get me?
But all the girls you know drive like man them anyway, so.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, listen, you lot are co-drivers. You two are serious drivers, see?
Milan, do you know when Milan drove you? I'm like, my G, yeah?
Hey, Milan drives like a real don, fam. A real bad man. She drives like a bad man, basically.
She do.
You get me?
She's like,
and you're from one country to another country in an hour and a half, so I don't.
What do you mean? I drive the bus. I drive the bus in work and also. Gangster, come on, kids.
Now, some of the best drivers I know are women. You get me? I think if
Definitely
back in the day, if certain man had a woman getaway driver, certain man wouldn't have done no jail time. You get me? No jail time. You get me?
No, I'm joking. I'm not.
You get me? Now, women, so the women I know are good drivers still, so I can't even diss still.
Did you say if they had a female getaway driver? Oh, Jesus.
I tried to do that back in the day. Not like, I'm not going to go too into it, you get me, but you know, before
self-snitching. Shut up. That's how they never got caught, and it was with you.
That's what I'm saying. Peely says, I'm a good driver, that's all I'm saying. You know, I knew Peely was on crack. I knew it before, I definitely know it now. Brina says, me too, Peely. Peely says, right, Brina. DJ Brett says... DJ Brett says, I'm the best driver in South. Jesus Christ. Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right,
so I'm saying, Peely says, I've been driving since I was 16. So that means for many, many years, everyone has had to watch what they're doing when Peely's on the road. Brina says, go on, Peely. Brino says Ash is laughing at what Ash was saying. Says Sticky's lost for words. I am, man. That one got me, I tell you. Female getaway drivers. And DJ Press says, Peely, 85, your insurance must be cheap. Probably not. Anyway, we won't even go there. Shem, what's your views on female drivers?
I think female drivers are sick drivers, you know. Like, my sister, she's the best driver that I know, to be honest. Like, she drives sick. She changes her own tires. Like, she's on smoke when it comes to her car. So, yeah, I just think it depends, really. Do you know what I mean? On the person. Depends on the person.
All right. Have you ever been in the car and seen someone do something in front of you and think to yourself, that was a woman driver?
Nah. I haven't. I just look at them as people, innit?
Get out of it.
I think it's safe to say that some of the best drivers are women, but also some of the worst drivers are women as well.
Right.
But I can say the same for men as well, though, really.
Yeah, nah. The abundant one. What's your views on this? Women drivers. What are you saying? Talk to me. Tell me the truth. I know there's more women than men on here. Actually, it's equal today. Yeah.
there's good women drivers and there's sick ones, but they're very few in it. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah, guys are the better drivers. There's no ifs or buts about it. We just calculate things different. So, you know, females, they like to feel good and, you know, I don't know. It's just different. Like, there's definitely a moment where you're driving and you see some foolery going on the roads and you're just thinking to yourself, definitely a female driver. I'm not even saying it to disrespect. You get what I'm trying to say?
No, it's fact.
That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? I can't take that away. So.
But saying that, the other day I was in the car with my family, yeah? Bear in mind my niece is in the car as well. And this guy was reversing. Nearly crashed into the car. It was only because I said, what are you doing? That he never crashed into. I feel like some people really don't know how to drive and they shouldn't be on the road. Like, me personally, I'm not even on the road like that anyway. Like, when I have drove, I've never been a bad driver. Like, I've never stalled, nothing. So,
because you're my cousin, I wouldn't let you be a bad driver.
Hey. She said I never stalled though. That was the only thing she said she never did. There's a lot of bad shit you can do in the car that's stupid, you get?
No, I'm saying, I'll leave you on that one, Ash. PD said, Sticky, you're the only one on something here, mate. Imagine, and she's a woman driver. Brina says, mine was cheap till I let my man drive my car. Don't even go. Do you see them excuses that they're trying to give us already? Brina says, I have Sticky, I can't lie. Talking about have you ever like seen something happen and go, it's a woman driver all the time. Empress says, guys that take more risks. And Brino says, in psychology, they put down...
They don't mind your life, boy.
In psychology, they put that down to boys being given cars, etc., as toys, so they develop this spartal awareness a lot more from early. Okay, and Peter says the worst drivers are actually Sunday drivers, which are probably women going to and from church or to the supermarket. Chids, what's your views on this one?
I'm sorry, I'm with the abundant one, yeah. There's some mad shit going on, like in a car full of females more time. And then sometimes, like, I find myself on a daily, like this is a daily basis, saying, if somebody's in front of me and they do something foolish, I'm like, it's definitely a woman driver. And you know what pisses me off as well? Old women drivers. Like, why are you... Yeah, over the age of 75 and you're a female, not even like old men drivers are long, but old women drivers are different and they will look at you like you did something wrong and they will beef you and all sorts. But yeah, women drivers, it's just long. I got one friend and she's driving and I'm sitting next to her and she's all talking to me, looking at me like, I'm like, yo, do you want to hear my life, yeah? I want to go home to my daughter, yeah? Can you please sit on the road? Like, it's mad. And I hate to say it because obviously I'm a woman driver, but like, I don't know, I've always drove differently. I've always been like around men, innit? So that's how I learned to drive. I learned to drive from men. But and my uncle always said to me, you can't be driving.
Get away, driver. Get away.
Shut up, Ash. Why are you trying to do that? That was an old life, innit? That was about 25 years ago. Please allow me. But yeah, like I've just always been around men who won't allow me. And like even my brother sometimes he's like, don't do that. Like, well, what are you doing that for? You need to do it like I'm like, okay. But yeah, women drivers can be just a tad bit too much. Unless they're gangster, innit? Getaway drivers.
I can't agree more with you, Chiz, because every time I get in the car with a woman, I make sure my seatbelt is on. You know those ones that if you're a guy, you might just be calm and you're chilling, you don't even realise. If I get in the car, it's on, I'm tugging the thing, making sure that it's working, you get me? Anyway, before I go to Miss Milan, right, recent messages, Brina says, Chids, says laughing at Chids, also says, Debly, says they let down the team a lot, talking about women. DJ Press says, it's the women that drive the big car that can't drive. It gets me jarred. You know what? I agree. Yeah. When I see them driving at the X5 and all, I'm thinking to myself, why are you driving this big ass car? You can't drive it. You definitely can't park it. That's the next thing. We won't even get into parking. Yeah. We won't even get into the parking.
You want to take it there? We can take it there.
Brina says, men drive like we've got 9 lives. Milan, what's your views? Again, a woman who knows a lot about cars. What's your views on women drivers?
women drivers are absolute bollocks. I don't understand why women drive. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, obviously, I drive because I can drive. I'm a driver.
Yeah,
but this is the thing as well. Just because you can drive a car, you're not a driver. Do you get that? Does that make sense? Like, I'm a driver and I can drive a car. There are some people that can't do both. They can't do the first one. You just can't drive. My friend, honestly, I keep saying to her, buy an automatic fucking car. She's like, why? I'm like, because you don't know how to change gear. You really don't. I'm sitting there and I'm like to her, change gear. Oh no, but why could fucking change gear? If not, get an automatic car. It's not that deep. She does not know her highway code. Like, you know, you're driving up a road. If a car's coming towards you, you move to the passenger, like to the left, yeah? You move to the left. Oh, no. The space was on the left. She made the car come down and go to their right, so go across her so that she could pass. Then she's beefing the guy, leaning over me to shout at the man. I said, you shouldn't have to lean over me to shout at him. You should be next to him. You should be shouting at each other. But now I'm in the middle because you're in the wrong. And she was like, no, I'm not. I had to go into work, get the highway code book, screenshot it to her and show her that she was in the wrong. I said, how the hell did you pass your test? How the hell did you pass your test? It's mad. Girl, nah. Do you know who can't drive? So old people, men and women, a certain, I don't even want to be rude, a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Continent, I don't know. A certain
demographic
of the globe. They can't drive either. Who?
I feel you in it. I know exactly.
Oh, yeah. A certain demographic of the globe. They could not drive, men and women. And I feel like in England, it's definitely the women and literally anybody with a big car. Why don't you know? Do you know what I don't like? Learn the size of your car. You know, like, you can fit a bus through the gap. You're in a smart car and you don't want to fit through a gap that you can get a bus through. Do you know how many times I've had to hop out of my car, go in front and go, you can go. They're good. Oh, but no, I could. No. Literally, I can walk down both sides of your car, and you're not going to touch my toes. Keep fucking driving, and then I have to get back in my car and drive up. It's mad. It's so crazy. Mad. Today, I'm in Tesco's, reversing out of a parking space. Some guy, I don't know whether he thought he could get past me quick enough to not. But when I reversed out, I'm like, shoop. I was literally like, shoop. And he's there bibbing. My reverse sensor is going. I look behind. He's going, what are you doing? I'm reversing out of my space, which I started to do before you was there, because I have mirrors and I looked everywhere. You thought you could speed up and get past me before I reversed out, but not knowing that how I drive, you thought you could squeeze through. No, you can't. Relax yourself and move back. You fucking idiot. Literally, like, he's there good. Oh no, but I need to. No. What you need to do is wait. That's what you need to do. Get back in your car and wait for me to get out of my space and drive. It's not that deep. Like, have patience. I think
the bigger the vehicle, the easier it is to drive. Like, I drive a school bus, innit? And to me, like, I'm up there, I can see everything. It's all mad. I can't see this thing.
They can't see. They can't. Do you know what pisses me off as well? When, like, bus drivers don't want to fit the bus through the gap that the bus can fit through. I'm like, it's a whole football field, and you can't get the bus through.
Now, look, you gotta go.
Exactly, I know. Actually, I'm gonna read some messages, because don't forget, we got to do our words of wisdom by share, which we do in a minute, right? So quickly. Brina says Milan shut it down, talking about what, obviously, women drivers, and I agree. Also says, I'm done. Also says, men are definitely better parkers overall. PD says, sounds tragic, Milan. Brina also says, I know who you mean. Says, I know who you mean, not what you mean. I know who you mean. PD also says, I know who you're talking about, Milan. Brina says, in Saudi, they've only recently changed the law so women can drive. Brina's a school bus, geez. PD says men tend to think as soon as they see you're a woman, they can overtake you. And well, we can because we can. And DJ Press the school bus. Jeez. So guys, look, first of all, I want to say thank you for obviously joining every week. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Now, before we say our goodbyes, right, we're going to let you know about our new section, which we're going to leave on, which we call Words of Wisdom by Cher. So before Cher takes over, I'm going to say goodbye to you all. Don't forget, we are back next week. As we know, men are better drivers than women. It's easy as that, Thank you to our guests for joining as well. Remember, like, share, and subscribe.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Miss Cher, over to you.
Okay, so I've got my notes here. I think I wrote a bit too much, but yeah. So basically, I just wanted to say, think out of a place of love before taking action. A lot of us do things from the ego, when the ego is only a distraction of ourselves. It can rob you of peace, happiness, self-worth, and have you stuck in your own anger, trauma, and self-pity. Until we as spirits, not humans, spirits, dig deep within ourselves and what can be done within us, rather than why we are a certain way and why things are happening to us, the spiritual world or the universe or God, whatever you align with, won't reward you. Once we start believing in divine timing and how worthy we are, we will get rewarded. We will get rewarded back at the right moment, and we will start aligning with the things we are meant to align with. A lot of the time, us as humans are quick to judge or point out others' flaws without G-checking our own and without understanding. Understanding is a major key to peace, and understanding is not always acceptance. Sometimes it is placing boundaries and understanding things, but also understanding not everything in life is in alignment with your purpose, and that's perfectly fine. Understanding starts with inner standing. So yeah, that's my words of wisdom for the day.
That was beautiful.
That was so beautiful.
Yeah.
Sick.
Thank you for that. That was beautiful, man.
Well, guys, that's all about us.
Can I just say, I'm so proud of my little cousin. Cher, your elevation, your growth, your mindset. Like, I'm definitely gonna cry in it later. Not now because I'm gangster. But your elevation and your growth, yeah. Like, you're my little cousin, and I love you.
Oh, thank you, cuz. I love you, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
That's my real life cousin in real life. Guys, again, look, thank you for joining. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Again, thank you to our guest, the abundant one, for joining us this week. Greatly appreciated. And don't forget, we are back.
He's got his own platform as well. Follow his platform, follow his page. I'll tag everything in the posts and that. But yeah, man, keep
in the abundance.
And don't forget, we're back next week, Wednesday from 10 o'clock. I'm not sure what topic's going to be just yet. Chidi and I were talking about some, but yeah, it's a bit political. So yeah, we won't go there. Small islands, obviously, Jamaica rules. So guys, until next week, thank you for joining, and we see you guys then, all right?
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.